This is the plaintiff, James Jones. He says his sister, the defendant, stole his very expensive PlayStation video game console and 5 of his favorite games. She refuses to return his things because she claims he owes her $105 for rent, and that is a lie. He just wants his property returned. Then he'll be done with his sister once and for all. He's suing for $510, the value of his stolen things. These are the defendants, Kaylee Terrell and Richard Hurt. Kaylee says the plaintiff moved from Florida to Massachusetts with his girlfriend, and they were supposed to pay them $75 a week in rent. The plaintiff's girlfriend didn't get along with her daughter. They moved out, and they refused to give him back his PlayStation until he pays the $105 he still owes them in rent and utilities. They're accused of not playing games.
All parties, please be ready. Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Jones, you're suing your sister, Ms. Tyrell?
Yes.
And her boyfriend, Mr. Hurt, for $510, a value of a PlayStation and some games and controller that you say have been held back from you.
Correct.
You moved from Florida to Massachusetts?
Correct.
And you ended up agreeing to live, or you were asked to live or made an agreement with her that you'd live in their house, right?
Yes, correct.
And how much were you paying?
$75 a week.
Okay. So you lived there from January to April?
Yes.
Is that right?
Correct.
All right. How'd it go?
At first it was okay, and then a couple issues had arisen with our daughter and his girlfriend, and
How old's your daughter?
10.
And what were the issues?
They just didn't get along. My she's an only child. She's kind of spoiled. She's used to having her own way, doing her own thing, like having her own space, doing what she wants to do. And I think it was a little much for her. Like she knows her uncle, but to have his girlfriend that she had never met before,
Was the girlfriend part of the deal when they moved in?
Yes.
Okay, so you know. But to have the girlfriend who she'd never, well, these are growth experiences for children when they start to realize that it's not all about them, but, which they should realize before 10, but anyway, I'm not judging you because I've actually had 10-year-olds in my house. But anyway, so tell me, so how did you try to deal with them?
I spoke with my brother about what my daughter felt was unfair to her.
Like what? Like give me an example.
She would, so his girlfriend would talk to her mother loudly on the phone, and sometimes she would call my daughter a spoiled brat. My daughter didn't really care for that.
That right there is enough. I mean, she shouldn't be calling your daughter a spoiled brat. You don't call the landlord's daughter a spoiled brat.
She
Go ahead.
She was sometimes every relationship has an issue. She would see them argue whether it was serious or not, and she's very protective over her uncle. She loves her uncle more than anything, and she's very upset by all of this. And she thought that her uncle was being treated unfairly by the girlfriend. And as much as I tried to explain that to her, that's none of her business, she just didn't understand.
Sure. So a decision is made by whom that you'll no longer live there? By you?
By me.
And did you give any notice?
I told him about March-ish that we were thinking about going back because my girlfriend's mom wasn't doing well.
No, but did you give him any notice before you actually moved? Like telling a landlord, hey, I'm thinking that someday I'll end this is not notice.
No, I told her.
Did you ever say?
I gave her a day.
That's not notice. But anyway, so according to you, I've seen a series of texts between the two of you. Are you older?
Yes.
How much older?
10 years.
Okay. Have you always had a good relationship with him?
Yes, we actually have.
Are you two talking to each other right now?
No.
How long have you not talked to your sister?
Since I left.
Which is when?
In May.
April.
April.
Oh,
sorry, yeah, April-ish. The end of April.
Right, middle of April. How's that going for you, not talking to your sister? Have you always been able to talk to your sister and count on her for things?
I have.
How about your niece? Have you not seen your niece since the middle of April?
No.
What's your plan? What's everybody's plan? Come Thanksgiving and Christmas, did you guys spend holidays together?
It was hard. I always had to work during holiday season.
And he was in Florida. We were up here.
Okay.
But we still talk to each other. We'd call each other.
So you went from, 60 to 0. Like, you were with each other every day, and then maybe that doesn't work out. I don't want to live with my brother. And if my brother's fighting or my brother's girlfriend is fighting with my daughter, I don't want that. But they're not the ones who made the decision. Apparently, they must have needed the money. You're the one who made the decision. And then fine, there's nothing wrong with making that decision. The problem that she feels is wrong is that you left like in the middle of the night, kind of like quote unquote, and then you sent mommy to go pick up stuff instead of talking to your sister. Have I got that right?
Pretty much, yes.
Right. And so she sends you a series of texts and says to you, I'm not mad, my feelings are hurt. Why is this happening this way? To which you respond. How old are you?
22.
Okay. Like a 10-year-old, your response is, better not touch my PlayStation.
Because that's the first thing they said they were going to keep on me.
I didn't see any of that come up until you suggested you better not touch my PlayStation. This is very early on in the. So who are you? You're the boyfriend?
Yes.
Are you also is this your child that we're
Yes.
talking about? All right, and is he in the phone as Bubba?
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to figure out who Bubba was, but your name is Richard. Okay. Yes. So, Richard, tell me how you end up, take one step to the left so you're in front of the microphone, that's fine. And tell me how you end up getting involved in this with the PlayStation, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I knew the situation. I felt he owed me money. My plan wasn't to keep it or nothing. It became the plan.
It
was just to hold it, a way to get my money.
Yeah, it's called holding something hostage, which is called theft. Like you're not allowed to do that. It's effective, but it's not legal. And so you told him, pay me the rent you owe me. And then you also didn't just say, pay me the $75. You also said that he had to pay you some utilities, but you never had him paying utilities.
I did. So he was supposed to pay the $75 a week, so the money was never the issue. That's why the money was so low.
Yeah, but the money's the issue when I'm involved.
Right.
So
the amount was never.
Did you ever tell him?
Yes.
You have to pay $75 plus you have to pay a portion of the utilities.
$30 a month on top of the $75.
Did you ever collect the $30?
Yes, I did. Twice.
And then what?
And then when he decided that
Okay, so she says she collected an additional $30 from you from utilities. Is she lying?
Yeah, I've only given her $75 a week. Every week I was giving her $75.
She says that it was an additional $30 a month, not a week, an additional $30 a month for utilities.
I've never given her $30 for a month. I've always done $75 a week.
$75 a week and not a penny more on anything else?
Not a penny more. I usually gave her an extra just in here's extra $5 because I don't want to break the 20, but I've never given her the extra money.
Oh, did it amount to $30 a month?
I honestly don't know, Your Honor.
So you decide that because he either owes you 75 or 100 and something, that you're going to keep the PlayStation.
Yes.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey 11 here. If push came to shove, would you ever sue your sister?
I couldn't do that.
If she really screwed you over?
If she really screwed me over, I'd think about it.
Okay. What about you?
Probably.
Oh, wow. That was simple. And you?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow. Who wouldn't? Who would? Cold-hearted people going inside the courtroom.
I just figured, okay, you owe me money. I didn't even touch it. It just sat there.
And then what?
And he had 2 or 3 weeks to give me the money. I actually messaged him a day prior to receiving the paperwork in the mail. And for court. And then still nothing. Received the paperwork. He went back to Florida. I got rid of it.
How'd you get rid of it?
I sold it.
Let me see the receipt for your sale.
To
I don't have the receipt.
Who'd you sell it to?
GameStop.
How much did you sell it to GameStop for?
$165.
Did you know he was going to do that?
I told him the PlayStation, that's on him. I wanted this whole thing to end. That's all I wanted. That's my brother. I don't want to fight with my brother.
What's your game plan? Your sister loves you. There's a niece who loves you. What's your game plan? You're just not going to see her ever again? Your sister? You're never going to talk to her again? Is that your game plan?
No, I feel like there may come a day where we might talk again, but as right now.
Okay, I don't mind if you never talk to him again. okay? Because, well, you shouldn't have let him do that either, because that's your brother.
No, that's
But
right.
by the same token, you did them a little dirty too. Nobody here is innocent, except for mostly you, but maybe not really. Because I would stop my man from selling my brother's stuff. Especially if he got a court date. I'm not even sure how that happens, how he thinks it's a good idea to get sued for something and then go sell it. Is that the order of things? That's amazing. I'm gonna deal with you in a second. But, you know, how many siblings do you have? You have a bunch of other ones?
I have one other brother and 2 other sisters.
Who are you closest to?
Probably my little brother.
Do you have siblings to spare? Like, is there love in your life to just spare?
I mean,
Do you have like a replacement niece?
No,
You got somebody you could love as much as Janae, is that her name?
Yeah.
I have 2 other nieces, but I love them all equally.
Oh, do you? So you still love Janae?
I mean,
How are
I
you gonna
still
see
love
her
her.
if you don't mend this with your sister? You gotta mend this a stupid PlayStation. But it's because you don't get a right to sell the guy's PlayStation because he, quote, owes you money. You have dropped your counterclaim. You actually had a counterclaim, so I would have considered it as a setup, but I don't have to because you turned around and took the law into your own hands. So now the only thing I have to decide is whether I am going to order you to pay for the guy's PlayStation. Where do you think that's going? Because you don't have a legal right to do what you did. And not only that, you ended up causing this rift by doing it. How about, here's another way this could have gone. He owes us money. Even if you don't give back the PlayStation, which you should, but even if you hadn't, file a lawsuit for the money you claim he owes you, and then get it all settled in court. Instead, you run out, you go to GameStop and you sell his, I'm astounded. I mean, because that shows that you don't really care about the relationship between the two of them, and you should. It should matter. I don't know about you guys. Maybe so many people love you in your life that you don't really care about losing a few along life's journey. Maybe so many people love Janae that we don't care if a bunch of uncles just just go, it's nuts. Life is so short. How do you let a PlayStation get to this stage? Because the PlayStation would be here to return amidst a bunch of hugs if you hadn't sold it. And then I would say, you know what, he's right. You have to give notice. This is a regular, we would have just handled it the right way. You ran out and you did something that's going to cause a wedge between them. So frankly, I'm going to task you with the responsibility of fixing it. I won't know if you fixed it, but other people will. What proof do you have of the cost that you are claiming for the PlayStation?
I have my bank statements from it.
Show me your bank statement.
Here you are. And then there's one more that I couldn't really find right away. It was
You either find it or you don't. You have to prove up. There's 2 parts to every lawsuit. They've done me wrong, and this is what I'm out. And you have to prove that. Okay, why are you
not
suing for
find
$510 if you paid $342?
because I had the controller one as well, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, well then, you choose when you go to court. Tough for you. If it's good enough for you, half-baked to come in here, then it's good enough for me too. So you had only had it for a month?
Yes.
You know that to be true, right?
Yes.
It's not a lot of depreciation in a month. I mean, there could be, but
It's
when I'm
GameStop.
mad at the person who sold it, I don't really feel like depreciating the heck out of this thing. I find in your favor in the amount you are able to prove, which is $361.92. Now that the PlayStation's taken care of, maybe all of you can put your attention to mending your family and putting that before this. How's that for a plan? Right? Like maybe that future date you're talking about should be right now in my hallway. Good luck to you folks.
So in this brother-sister dispute, the plaintiff is going to get the value of the PlayStation back, at least what he could prove, $361. You're going to have to give him that.
That's
Are
fine.
you okay with it? What about what the judge just, and Bubba, you didn't come off too well in this. She blamed you for the whole thing, you know?
I'll take it.
You'll take it?
I'll take it.
You'll take it. All right, you're the problem. What about the judge just saying maybe you could have a reunion here in the hallway? How do you feel about that?
It's not just up to me with
I
that
know.
part.
It's up to your brother, James. What do you think, James? You want to have a reunion with your sister here in the hall? He's coming. You're going to get money back from her. How about giving her a hug? You think that's possible?
I mean, will you accept one?
Sure. Oh my gosh. Maybe you can be friends again.
We'll try.
You willing?
We'll see how it goes.
Oh, you'll see how it goes. All right then. Thank you very much. Maybe we'll have a happy ending after all. Okay?
you.
All the three of you can go together and have a chat outside. Who knows what's going to happen, Harvey?
Okay, Doug, I mean, look, you cannot hold people's stuff hostage, even if they owe you money, unless you have a lien.